as a starting off point where we are being reintroduced to remember all of those science experiments, shady underground business dealings in Academy City, and all of those sisters running about that surprisingly no one has really noticed just idling around. Even though in Index they were just walking the streets like normal. And especially with a very fun introduction with a character. I'm kind of excited for the future. So let's see what it holds. And we're back with just another school day. Is he going to carry on with the Queen and her brainwashing? Why? Is this another sighting of her sister? City? What are you talking about? Is she so mistakable? Having people say, "Oh, I saw you somewhere where you weren't," and now overhearing stories about cloning, is going to put some ideas in your head. Why is she in a casino? And trying to block out all of these conversations. And for us, we actually know that, yeah, there are other versions of her out there. But if this is the first you're hearing of it, that's going to put you through a loop. Honestly, no good will come of the world if there are multiple of, well, quite a few people, but me predominantly. Although maybe it would make recording videos easier. And knowing that in previous seasons, even Index, we're getting a lot more characters and development from all of them. Ultimately, it's basically if Saturn gets out of this season with more than just a few swings of a bat, we're definitely on the rise. I mean, if you didn't know that you were cloned or whatnot, how would you respond to that kind of question? Just brush it off as some insane gibberish. You need... respect is really earned, so... And are we going to get a more thorough understanding of that flashback sequence we got? Oh. She resorts to violence quite quickly. That was part of it. interesting. So there are paths and alleyways that will be explored. But so she is actively trying to stop any more of those sisters falling foul in blind spots. Yeah, you probably don't pay rent. Is she preparing herself for another roundhouse? Oh no! We have the makings of an arsonist here. She doesn't really hold responsibility well. And why is it that when she doesn't want to, people recognise her as the level 5 and yet seemingly can just sneak away unnoticed? When people are trying to be sneaky, that's when they're so noticeable. Good plan. But what if it is grounded in truth? And if it was that simple, so you just need a DNA map, then it wouldn't be such a crazy idea that there might be cloning going on. Shouldn't be too hard to find. I mean, probably shouldn't be using your abilities for something like this, but at the same time, who's going to stop her? I mean, you could probably narrow it down a little more by only searching for the females. Nice dress. But what was she needed for at the hospital? So she is quite well accomplished. Physically strong about doing it? Maybe. Mentally? Would any of us be prepared? Yeah, and also saying out loud that you're going to sneak somewhere. Probably not the best. She's not going to... How much? And she's not choosing something with a cutesy pattern on it to wear it later. Oh no, it was meant for a disguise. I obviously didn't want to wear something like this. Of course. But having a double bed to yourself, not bad. Completely stretch out. As long as a certain roommate that is far too attached doesn't get word that she booked a double room. And you should explore the city a little bit. and somehow has the idea of checking underneath every vending machine and behind pipes. At least we know that it's probably likely, due to the story that the girl said, that money is, legitimate. There's a certain understanding of that. What is it filled with? I've made a few onigiri, but obviously haven't tried any of the sour plum filling and all that. That does sound like it would be kind of nice. And yet, they don't have to go the usual route of whenever things taste nice of really going overboard with their descriptions. How much do they spend on rice? 3 bites! And there we go, another one. And since Uriharu has been on security cams, has she not spotted extras walking around? At least 2. I've heard that people at least think there's someone that looks like you, not at least 2. But it also, keeps them in line if there is that kind of strict upbringing. They bring the school into disrepute, so they have to behave. Despite not having a frog or anything on the design ears, actually quite suits her. She's still absent. No. Now that is a gif. As long as she doesn't crawl inside of the bear at any point. She probably needs to keep it down if she doesn't want the dorm superior to come. I would get a lot more than goosebumps out of that. Good choice of programming. Why would you do that? That's just unfair on the man. You would think about putting out those camera loops a lot sooner than when it spotted you. At least those security guards are patrolling the place rather than any security I've seen so far in places. You sleep again? Yep. And that is if each of the labs and warehouses and everything actually contains what is on the plan, and not just lying about it. Attach yourself to the ceiling. Fry his flashlight for a second. Was that just an Ex Machina robot that came past, or did she control it to go there? Intruder! Who else is here? Her abilities are really good at causing distractions. The amount of applications that she can have. But it also means that we now need to wonder what is going on. Really? Someone just pulled the alarm. But she had just escaped. Why is she here again? And in uniform. Might be best not to ask. Just seeing those pods would bring a few questions straight away. Huh. Well, okay, that would... If she just let the guy at the front see her, a bit more talkative than usual, maybe she'd actually be able to get that staff pass and wouldn't have to sneak around. The issue with knowledge. And now all doubt has been removed. And there would be several questions I have in this moment. From hair, you say? I mean, cloning is still very much in experimental infancy. I mean, we managed to do it with sheep and whatnot. I can't remember any recent breakthroughs. Did we know about the rapid creation of them before? 14 days. If normal people had access to a vast network to talk to each other like a big hive mind, you'd think it would go well, and then you remember that the average person is really stupid. Would you want to be connected to everyone else? I mean, take me, for instance. The the one that took a little bit of damage. You couldn't create the original. So we have confirmation that the sisters themselves aren't amazing individually. Okay. So the storyline in the previous the earlier ones about protecting all of the sisters, because there was still the experimentation going on with the accelerator. The project was cancelled, put on ice, but that's in the not public records, but is she going to be content with that answer? I suppose. And is she actually going to... No, she's not going to come face to face. It takes as long as it takes. She is a lot better than Windows at estimating time. Seriously, sometimes those time remaining bars are complete bollocks. I had one, I think yesterday, where numbers between 5 and 97 didn't exist. And because of escalating costs and a seemingly failed return on their creations, the project was canned. I guess it's not really worth trying to get a level 5 out of these clones. But that doesn't mean the experiment stopped there. And since we know that quite a few of the sisters are up and walking around, how did they make it out? Why were they cut loose? Usually with experiments like these, let's cut out the human element of you've created clones, but you don't really want your rodents with ears grafted to them, or chimpanzees infected with a rage virus, or even rapidly developed embryos of a level 5. You don't want them just walking about doing their own thing. But obviously we know a little bit more about this than she does herself. And as you saw when she was hearing the rumours, the various people on the streets, she tried to distance herself from it, think, that's just ridiculous. So her accepting and jumping to that conclusion. Oh, it's done, kaput, over, finished. Nothing more to this story. And was her plan really just to come here and have a look and then leave? Did she take a backup copy of the research? I can't remember if she'd plugged in that little console of hers. But it's not that I can't remember, it's more I didn't even look to see if she did. But that is something with science, isn't it? We think of something, come up with some tests, and it's failed. Oh crap, back to the drawing board. Do we have any more grant money? No? Well, shit. But with all the data supposedly deleted and the guards doing a moderate level of security guarding, what more can really be found out without invoking that new character to come back and give a little more exposition? Or coming face to face with your own visage. In a slightly more monotone voice, speaking in the third person, narrating their feelings. But for once, in this grand story, I'm not overly confused, because I'm actually, I think, holding more cards than the main character herself. But there's a lot going on here, a lot that I may have missed, a lot that is yet to be revealed. So hopefully, you'll be there with me to see it really bloom into, hopefully, something not entirely destructive. But if you enjoyed this episode, please let me know. Leaving a like and a comment down below, maybe even subscribing to the channel. It can really help me out. I say it quite often, but it's never stopped being true. I am shocked at how many people seem to be enjoying these videos. For something that I started essentially just for me, to see if, I don't watch anime. Let's see what happens. Maybe other people can enjoy the experience alongside. And it turns out, you do. I hope we can continue a very long journey. But for now, get yourself some rest. Maybe you're going to have to wipe down that teddy bear. Have a word with your roommates. I'll see you in the next one. If you want to sneak into the governmental institutions and see all of the juicy data that is my channel, consider joining on to my Patreon, because you get some early access to Gintama and maybe some other stuff. For the main part, you're helping this science experiment exist. So I really need to thank Sal, Electric Ant, Arthea, Noku, Raywin, Shiwan, Mecha, Matt, Stinsfire, Jennifer Rojas, Girly, 1234W, Kite, Saltytron, Cardboard, Dark Shadow 7899, Maurizio Lozano, and everyone else. And I hope I never have to learn of my own clones. That's not fair on anyone.